Hey guys, so this is part 2 to the For Honor beta breakdown. Obviously this is the beta. Things I have said and will say about this may be changed in the game. Unlikely some of the things that will be changed are like the customization and things like that. Some things about combat, but you never know what they will change. They might do a massive change before. Hopefully not, because I really do enjoy the game at this stage, and I think that there were only a few little minor things need to be changed. Some little things may be overpowered, but I'll get round to that eventually. The customization screen, however, I like how you can customize different parts of your character. I wish there were more customization options. As it is a base beta, we won't get to customize everything, such as weapons and all sorts. But one thing I will touch upon now is the different game modes. So there is a 1v1 game mode, which you can do player and AI, 2v2 brawl, which you play alongside well, obviously it's 2v2, you can do it against AI as well. But with the AI one, in 2v2, you and another player play against two AI. It's not you and an AI. Um, Deathmatch is a 4v4 and you have to kill the other team, outright kill them. You can revive, but if they're executed, you can't revive. The objective is to just kill the enemy team within the time required. You do tie up if you have this. I think you tie up if there's just one of what. Say if there's 1-on-1 left. There's just two people left on each team. I think you tie up if you run out of time. Dominion is 4v4, it's elimination, but it has flags. It's a bit like domination. Domination from Call of Duty. There's three flags basically, there's three like zones. You have to fight over, capture, you can kill the enemy teams. There's minions in between and stuff. Zone B is controlled by minions, we call them, or just soldiers, and they're easily killed, but you have to control, you have to keep going back, you have to moderate between killing just players themselves and the minions, because the minions do control and take over as the battle goes on. Zone B I think does give off the most as well, as it requires probably the most effort. The minions, however, only stay in one part of the map, which is sort of the middle sort of corridor of the map, if you would like. So you don't really have to worry about minions coming to A and C. It's only on B that they're focused on. One of the things I would like to say about Dominion is at the end there's a team break where you can't respawn. You can be revived, but if you're executed, you can't respawn. You can break out of the team break by getting the other team under 1,000 points, and then you can respawn again. But apart from that, you have to work hard as a team to not let that break happen. And if the enemy team eliminate all four of their heroes, they win. It can get down to a double team break where both teams can't respawn, and it's just down to killing the enemy team. That does get intense, and I was at that stage at one point actually. I will put the clip up later, and I was up against the entire enemy team, and I killed quite a few of them as well. They weren't on team break, but I was, and I was the only one left against four. So I did lose the match, but it was intense. So right now I am the barbarian. I keep saying barbarian, the Viking berserker even, and it is a very fast-paced character, and it's an assassin character. I'm against the Viking warlord with the sword and the shield. A very defensive character, certainly not the one I would hope to go up against. As this was just the early stages of the berserker. I was testing it out. I was testing most of the characters out. Now, I do like the berserker. It's a very fast-paced character, and as you can see, it's a lot of confusion techniques. I did lose that round, but yeah, certainly a counter to the whole sort of aspect of the assassin characters is to harass the sort of heavier characters, the warden, the Kenzai samurai, and the raider. Those characters are usually killed by the assassin characters, and the assassins do deal with each other. The defense characters are usually to deal with the assassins or to lock down points. So you can see that obviously what I was doing to this character, not very effective because of the big sword and shield. The ability to block from all sides as well, just lock down, so you have to either weapon break or taunt them out of it. And as you can see, he's very good at blocking. The blocking is very fast as well. You can switch your block faster than other characters, I believe, with these blocking characters and the defensive. Um, you see you can triple block there, where he gets down, he hunkers down. Um, Obviously, you can work your way around what they do, but you have to think about what you're doing if you're going to do that. Obviously, as a berserker, you do have fast attacks and things. As an assassin, I would say if you're going up against another assassin, try not to show them where you're going to go, and try to just focus on blocking and getting their stamina down, or surprise attack them. Push them off ledges if you need to, Obviously, if it's a respectable player, try and beat them on an actual sword fight. But if they're not if people aren't respectable to you and they're just going to push you off ledges, to me, I think that gives you free rein to just push them off. This guy did try and push me off before, so I just did it to him. And honestly, with the Berserker, I would say that one of the things that the Berserker is good at is sort of harassment. The Berserker can get in and out of situations and then just jump back in. There are a lot of long range sort of moves where you'll run at the target, where they're maybe unsuspecting sometimes in a 1v1, but you'll run from a long range and dive in and hit them with the axes. And I haven't mastered it yet, but I will probably at some point if I do buy the game end up getting footage of it. I do have friends who I could probably get footage off as well, as they did play the Berserkers a lot. But as you'll see, it's mostly about blocking with these assassin characters and just waiting for the right moment to strike. You can harass more, but I choose to block and sort of get their stamina down. As you can see, he's trying to recover his stamina. He manages to just at the end here. No, he doesn't actually, because, yeah, he manages to recover his stamina. But you can, especially with the Raider, I've noticed, because with the Raider, if you grab hold of them and if you stun them against the wall, by nailing them in the face, it depletes their stamina bar or takes stamina off of them. So if they have low stamina, just keep repeating that cycle of hitting them off the wall and then causing lots of damage, and you'll probably kill them. You can knock people down as well. Say if you knock them down a ledge, you will actually knock them downstairs and things like that and knock them over. It's a very effective way to get the upper hand. One of the things that does annoy me about some of the characters is that, especially in the Nobuchi, I'll show you in a clip later, where there are two characters. I think it's the Orochi and the Nobuchi. It's the two samurai characters. You can't block their attacks. You'll see what I mean when I explain it in more depth later. But as you can see, it's very tense when you both get down to low health. He obviously got the upper hand there and managed to get a hold of me, but it is intense fighting when two characters are sort of juxtaposition. There's a real sort of issue with the whole character system. When you do come up against another character, sometimes it's overpowered. So it's mostly about the way you play. Most of the characters are actually quite balanced. There are only a few things I have to complain about, really. But apart from that, they're actually really balanced. As you can see, it's really about patience. You'll see some people online, they'll charge straight into battle. He obviously thinks that I'm going to push him off, so he goes back into the room. Some people will not accept your taunt, by the way, so sitting there and waiting for the time run out will not work. You'll have to get in there at some point. Try to just, with every single person you play with, try and see what their pattern is and try to adapt to it. Because if you can adapt to their little pattern and figure them out, then you can take advantage of it and do things they won't expect, or expect their attacks. Like with this guy, I know he charges me with the unblockable attack and then usually goes left or right. So from that, I know where he's going to go. I know what to look for an attack when he charges. And it's just these little things, watching back on the gameplay as well. Most likely I will try and get the money to buy this game. See what I mean? I'll look for the attack. I didn't expect a little attack at the end there, but... Oh, the weapon break as well. The weapon break is a useful tool to really get a hand in. Last time I showed a video and a few clips of the weapon break. A weapon broken with the warden. And I just got it. I was in a match with one of my friends who's a peacekeeper, which would normally actually tear the warden to pieces if you blocked effectively and things like that. But instead, I started to tear them to bits. That's because I kept adapting the direction I attacked in to different directions and different sort of ways. And he didn't expect anything that I really did. And that was probably the main thing. You want to keep attacking in different directions, sort of directions they won't expect you to attack in, and it really does give you the upper hand in a fight like this. Obviously in this fight I think I did lose this, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if I lost this, just the way that I was playing with the... Oh no, I won actually, by the end there. As you saw, I didn't really get the... I think with the assassin characters, especially the Berserker, you get less time to do your execution. I'm not sure, but it seems that way. But you can rate the match at the end. I'm not sure if that has any sort of impact. I don't think it does. But from this screen, you can go into your heroes. Deploy war assets, as I mentioned earlier. See, the sword goes down. I do just click off quickly. You can vote which map you go for next, though, which is a nice little touch because not many people know about it. Not many people used it. I used it in the maps that I like and love, which were the River Fort. I like the Cathedral, but I would pick mainly the map that I wanted to play on next. And not many people would actually vote for a map, which is why I would always use it to my advantage. So find a map that you're really good at, and try and learn all the maps, obviously, but pick your best map out of that list. So this is the Nobushi class. It's actually a really good class to use. It's very annoying. Basically, here are some of the skills and the feats that it actually has. Feats are things that you can activate within battle with the D-pad, so up, down, left, right. Just obviously, if you want to see some of the feats that this has, I've done a slow sort. This is the only character I've actually done this for, and it's the one I've used the least actually. So if you want to see the feats, just obviously pause, read through, have a look. You can select either one of these once you unlock them. You can only select one though. The Nobushi is a hybrid character, just for the samurai as well. It's a hybrid, which I'm not sure what's a hybrid of, but it's a hard character to master, and it's especially hard to sort of use and understand. Most of the characters in this game you have to get up close and personal. This is a distance character, or a zoner, as it's called. A zoner is used to keep distance from the enemy while they'll instill a lot of damage. This character has a lot of bleed effects and a lot of bleed attacks on it, which is it's very actually annoying once you get up against one of these, especially someone who's good at it, because you can't get at them, can't get close to them. They'll always keep their distance and they'll put a bleed effect on you whenever you do try and make an assault on them. So just try your best not to get involved with them. Obviously, I will put up some gameplay of when I was using it. I'm not very experienced with it. Some things I can name off the top of my head. Hidden stance, where if you are in guard mode and you hold down on the right analog stick, you will be able to go into hidden stance where your character doesn't. You have a guard mode on in a hidden stance. It sort of confuses the enemy. It's sort of a taunt, if you will. To be quite fair, it sort of disables. You can't block when you're in that hidden stance, but you can still dodge. So say if the enemy swings at you from the left, you can dodge to the left or to the right, or dodge backwards even, away from their attack. And it gives you that little edge to do whatever you want. You can also go from hidden stance to a full-blown attack without your enemy knowing where it's going to go until it happens. And that really limits their time that they can react with that. And there's Cobra Strike, which I believe it's it's a something retreat where basically you press back on the analog stick and light attack, and you basically it's a very long range attack. You dash backward and it's put a bleed effect on the enemy. It's very deadly and it's very annoying. Here are some of the little executions, obviously. You can see just the range of the character if you just see from just the weapon itself, how long the weapon is. Obviously, that really does have an indication of how long range this character actually is. One of the things I will say about this character, if you do get into a close range encounter, it's a very agile character still, which is it's very sort of, it's powerful. It's one of probably the most powerful characters in the game, if you want to put it that way. It's one of the most powerful characters in the game, as it's hard to control and master, but once you do, it's probably one of the hardest to get a hold of. These are just obviously some of the executions, but if eventually, yeah, these executions, by the way, the price on them, I'm not sure if that's going to go up or down after the beta. Hopefully down, if I do get the game. But I will put a clip up of playing with the Nobushi, but I just wanted to show some of the actual, some of the just feats and some of the actual things that the Nobushi has about it, as it is a hard character to master. I certainly haven't mastered it, but if anyone wants to take the time to it, I've got the list up of things that you can do. I will skip the emotes, as it's easy to figure out. So these are the moves. As you see, you've got 3 light attacks. On the light attack, which is R1 by the way, heavy attack is R2 for the right trigger, but the little star means a timed attack, so you have to time your attacks carefully. The little purple means bleed effect, and as you can see just from not scrolling down, there's 3. You can see there's a lot of sort of combos, mainly based around the analog sticks. Now, the combos based around the analog sticks are very sort of retreat based. That's it. Slithering thrust is not in guard mode. It's half of the things on this list are very effective, and they don't seem that effective. Hiss and Bite doesn't seem that effective, but it's a quick jab with a light attack, and then a very devastating heavy attack. If you can land it, especially Death Rattle form, it's two very successive heavy attacks, very quick and very high damage. And it doesn't seem that easy to pull off, but if you do combine the kick, the hidden stance, it does really affect you. It does really affect your opponent or you if it's being used against it. It's very hard to control and very hard to master. But if you can really take the mick out of some of the people who you come up against. As you can see, Cobra Strike, that's a long combo. This mix-up, Viper's Retreat it's not Cobra, it's Viper's Retreat. That's the one where you press back and your character sort of does a lunge backwards, puts up their back leg and balances on one leg and hits like with one arm, goes as far out as possible with that giant pole and hits the enemy, and it's only a small bleeding effect, but it's actually a very effective one as it can just be spammed, and most people do spam with this. I will speed up the video, but you can look back over it. So obviously this is sped up by times 2. You can pause at any point or rewind to look. Obviously I don't want to just make this a like straight up video about the Nobushi itself. I want to get other points in, but I thought I'd break down, as it is a breakdown series, I wanted to break down this character in general. Well, not in general, in detail actually, over the other characters. As I've used the other characters, I could tell you multiple things, multiple tips, things I've learned about the Warden, sort of my setup for the Warden as well, which is a very defensive setup. I could tell you all sorts about the Warden, the Raider, the Berserkers, all of the assassin characters, because I've played them and I've played against them a lot. Not many people play with the Nobushi, and I myself haven't actually played that much with it. I've really needed to go in depth and detail, research a few things about it. Obviously you can see from the video here, this is just a basic video. I might make another video showing the advanced video off and just talking through it to make sure that you do understand. But if you do actually plan on getting this game, you can go into this customization screen and how to fight, and you can see the moveset, you can see the advanced video, and you can have a look at it. This is just the start of the advanced video, but you can see this is a Zona character, tries to keep this distance while constantly annoying any attackers. And you'll see here that you can actually hidden stance. That's just a small example of hidden stance, followed after a kick, which is, I don't know how to do the kick, in all honesty. I try to do it, but you can, hidden stance, kick, hidden stance. That's annoying, that. Plus, came up with a switch, and then an attack, from the looks of things. And basically, I am playing this in like super slow motion, by the way. But you can see it's a lot of dashing, a lot of hidden stance, a lot of just quick attacks, and then back into that hidden stance or kick. And it really does annoy the enemy. You can do the retreat move as well with the bleed effect. That's Viper's retreat, and as you see, it applied a bleeding effect. A bleeding effect on the end. Caught the button by accident to stop the recording. But basically, I'm going to get off the video now. I'm going to start on a different topic, and I'm going to come back to this maybe sometime to just finish off this final sort of analysis of the Nobushi. Because the analysis of this character, it's very hard to go over. Obviously, there's the advanced video. You can watch it if you do get the game. If you're watching this video, you've likely gotten this game already. So all you need to do is go into that character, and then it should say customize and a bunch of other stuff, and then how to fight. In that section, there's the moveset. In the 2 basic videos, there's a basic video and the advanced video. 2 videos, you can watch them over and over again. You can go into a private match, practice against a bot, practice against practice against friends, practice with friends, and let them stand. Some of them, if they're nice enough, if you do have friends like I do, they will let you stand there. They'll just let you hit them, and they'll just let you practice on them. I know one of my friends did. Headhunter, he certainly learned a lot from me when I first started talking about him. I never did buy the Conqueror, but I taught him a lot about the character just from playing with it. Only thing I really have to bitch about here is that Nobushi disappearing. Now that is a bot, and a player joins the session and that disappears. Obviously my mate was about to charge at him, but he had to change his change his priority to that target in front of me, which did help me a bit. But I've had it before where that bot's disappeared and a player's joined in, or a player's disappeared and the bot's joined in its place in the middle of the round, and it's appeared from like, I got that player down. I remember I was up against the Kenzai Samurai. I got the guy down to quarter health and he left and rage quit, and basically the bot stood in his place but at full health, and instead of it being a Kenzai Samurai, it was a Conqueror, which is a really defensive Viking. Now that, I've bearing in mind I just adapted to that guy's playstyle in the Kenzai. I've just had to completely on the spur of the moment, and I was at half health at this point, and that AI just got fully re-customized and with full health. So I've just had to adapt from that straight to a Viking, and I actually lost that fight against that AI solely because the guy left. And that is what I have to complain about, is that mid-round, if somebody leaves, they shouldn't be replaced with a bot at full health. I've had it where the bots have been replaced at like half health or the health that the player was and kept the same character that the player was, but I have had anomalies where the bot's been a completely different bot. A completely different warrior with, a completely different health scale. That is one thing I have had to complain about.